So today I want to talk to you guys about my 5 things I believe that all worship leaders should know. Again, this is my own opinion. This is my own thoughts of what it is that I think worship leaders really need to pay attention to and sometimes overlook or don't really completely always think about when doing their positions as worship leaders or as worship pastors or worship directors. So these are my 5 things that I think all worship leaders should know. Number 1 is to empty your cup. Andy Stanley said it in a way better way, in a way I can't even imagine to think of to try to say it. And so what I'm going to do is quote him. What he said is, as leaders, we are never responsible for filling anyone else's cup. Our responsibility is to empty ours. So what I really took from that is just like in the story of Elijah and Elisha, it talks about how he emptied his cup. He basically was pouring in to this person who was being built up underneath him, someone who didn't think that they had something in them when they did. He saw something in him, and that's something that we as worship leaders or worship directors or worship pastors need to try to look for. Is we need to look for that spark. We need to look for that thing in someone that someone might not know that they have, and build into it. And the emptying our cup side comes into like our knowledge base. There's a lot of times I've worked with worship pastors or worship directors who had so much knowledge, so much compassion, so much thought, so much stuff that they could teach and train someone on, and they never did. And that is something that you need to give. That's something that you need to empty out to somebody. You need to really, as a leader, as a teacher, you need to really pour out your knowledge and pour out your giftings, pour out what it is that you can share with someone and help them grow. Because just like the story with Elijah and Elisha in 2 Kings chapter 2, as you go up, they're going to follow with you. And it's really important because we have to pour into them. We have to build them. As a team, a lot of times a worship team member doesn't realize that they are worship leaders. If you are on a platform on Sunday, whether you're playing guitar or keys or vocals or playing drums, you are a leader. You are a worship leader. And if we get that mentality not only in ourselves as leaders, to remember these are all worship leaders. These are people who we should be training up. We should be helping. We should be helping grow and giving them that extra step, that extra stone. Then that will help us build our team, and it will also build a better investment that all the worship team members will have in the team as well. They'll really feel a little bit more connected. And it doesn't just stop on Sundays or stop on your practice nights. Go to lunch with them, go to dinner with them, go out and do something with them, go listen to a worship conference with them, go do something, make there be more of a connection and more of a relationship than just, oh, this is this person who plays this instrument on my team. It's a relationship. It's a feeling. It's a connection that all teams need to have. So number 2, follow your pastor as he follows God. The reason I say follow your pastor as he follows God is because you can fall into a situation where, unfortunately, pastors don't follow what is seen as the voice of God, or don't follow what we see as a biblical standpoint, or they start doing stuff that's immoral or illegal or just different things like that. In those situations, I'm trying to weed those out. So those situations I'm not speaking to. What I'm speaking to is if you have a pastor who is Spirit-led and led by God, led by the Holy Spirit, who's being guided in what steps he's taking and what he's doing, we need to follow them. We are a part of a team. We're not only just part of the team, but we are the leadership in this team. If we aren't fully engaged in what it is that our pastor is doing, and we aren't helping sell the vision or the mission or the ideals of the church or the ideas and the wants of the pastor, then we're not helping the church. What we're doing is we're going to start slowly to create a divide, and we have to keep that. We have to follow our shepherds. We have to trust them. We have to build their confidence. We have to pray for them. We have to help encourage them, because out of everybody in the church, pastors get hit harder than anybody else. A pastor is in the light of everything while they're still trying to be the pastor. and it can be difficult. It can be difficult to keep that separation. It can be difficult to keep that ideal, that mindset, that thought process as a pastor. And so we have to, as leaders in the church, as worship team members even, we have to encourage and be there for the pastor and truly follow them and support them. If you're in a church where you don't support the pastor, if you don't support the mission or the vision, then you're not at the right church. You need to find a church where you can truly trust, encourage, and follow your pastor. So that is number 2. So number 1 was empty your cup. Number 2 is follow your pastor as he follows God. Number 3 is connect on and off the platform. This is something I see way too often in different worship teams. You have worship teams that will come out and they will do the worship set, or they will do the praise and worship service, and then all of a sudden they're gone in the green room for the rest of the service, and then for the break between services, and then second service they come up, they do the songs, and then they leave. There's no connection that happens off the platform. Yes, we have to connect on the platform, but off the platform is going to be really where the connections are going to matter. You can't have people in a congregation comfortable to follow you unless they know you, or unless they feel they know you, or unless they feel encouraged or have a feeling about you. That's why, yes, it's important for us to basically connect with the congregation on the platform, but the relationships that you're going to build off the platform and that ability to really connect with everybody one-on-one and get to know them, let them get to know you, introduce yourself to people you've never seen, introduce yourself to families, to anybody who's in there, someone who's standing by themselves. Just go up and talk to them, because what's going to happen is you're going to build a cohesion, you're going to build a feeling, a grouping, a loving, something that's much needed. So number 1 was empty your cup. Number 2 was follow your pastor as he follows God. Number 3 was connect on and off the platform. Number 4 is the one that everybody always hears, and I know you know it: strive for excellence and practice. When we come in as leaders, if we don't know the song, if we don't know the dynamics of the song, if we don't know the order of the service, if we don't know any of that, then it's going to be hard for a team member to follow you. They have to have a confidence in knowing that you know what you're doing. As a worship leader, we're supposed to know what we're doing. That doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes. That doesn't mean that we might not make changes last minute. Man, I make changes every single week at sometimes for key changes. I like to have the fluidity to where I have all the vocalists practicing the songs, and then on a Thursday night we pick out, hey, you know what, you seem to really hold on to this song, and this song really seems to hit you in a point, I want you to lead it. Or hey, this song, I think you would really do good leading it. And so we'll make adjustments to fit to that, to fit to the dynamic of the team. But we have to strive for that excellence. We have to practice, whether or not it's listening to the music in our car over and over again, or practicing at home on the keys or with a guitar, or practicing the drums, whatever your gifting or your instrument is. You need to know that. You need to be able to direct the sound team even as a worship leader. You need to be able to explain to them, look, this person's going to lead this song, this person's going to lead that song, this person is going to need it, the electric guitar is going to have to be louder, this one's going to have to be quieter, or just coordinated. That's the point of what we're doing. We're coordinating and leading a team of not only the musicians, but a tech group, the sound guys, the PowerPoint presentation. All of it has to coincide and group together very well. And if we aren't striving for excellence and practicing, if we don't know our craft or know what we're bringing or what we're supposed to be showing up with on a Sunday morning, then that falls apart. So 1 was empty your cup. 2, follow your pastor as he follows God. 3, connect on and off the platform. 4, strive for excellence in practice. And 5 is the one and biggest and most important one: be yourself. And I'm not meaning as in go up there wearing whatever certain type of clothing you want and start doing this, that, and the next thing, or making jokes on stage because you like to joke around. I'm meaning be yourself as in whoever it is you are as a group, as musicians, as a singer. Don't be Elevation. You won't be Elevation. Don't be Hillsong. Don't be Bethel. Don't be New Life. Don't be Gateway. Don't be any of these other churches or worship teams or groups of musicians, because you won't be them. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, you are not going to be the Hillsong. You're not going to be Bethel. You're going to be you. You're going to be your church. You're going to be an individual and an individual team with an individual sound. So yes, listen to the songs. Use their music. Their music's awesome. I love Elevation. I love Hillsong. I love Bethel. And so use that guideline. Use that what they have to bring, but make it your own. Change the verse around. Change the chorus around. Change some of the dynamics. We've gone before and we've completely taken a song and turned it into a complete different feel. Or we would take a song and instead of going through the verses, we cut the verses out and only did the choruses and the bridges. So be yourselves with it. You don't have to sound like the CD. You don't have to sound like a YouTube link or like a record or whatever it is you're listening to. You don't have to. Be yourself. Be your own team and encourage your team to do that. If you have an electric guitarist who can shred and do some really cool rock and metal stuff, find somewhere where they can just be themselves and just shred and have some fun on electric guitar. Or if you have a keyboardist who's a concert pianist, find a portion in between a break or a prayer where he can just, or she can just play piano like they would, like a concert pianist. I wish I had that gift. If you got, and vice versa. Same thing for your drummer, same thing for your guitarist, your vocalist. If you have a vocalist who's got a very unique tone and voice, don't just do songs that people are used to hearing with that unique tone and voice. Let that person create something. Let them fit in. Let them feel comfortable. Let them see that you guys are your own team and your own group. And that is what's going to attract people, not only in your church and in your congregation to worship, but also to other musicians, to your team, is the ability for them to be individuals and be themselves instead of worrying about being everybody else. So those are my 5 things. So just a quick recap. Number 1 was empty your cup. Leaders, do it. Just pour out into the people on your team. Number 2 is follow your pastor as he follows God. Pray for your pastor. Encourage your pastor. No matter what, just build and lift up your pastors. Be there for them to push the church and the vision and what's going on in your building. Or if you're not in a building, and wherever you're at. Number 3, connect on and off the platform. Not just with your team. Connect with your church. Connect with your congregation. Connect and build those relationships so they feel confident and comfortable in following you as you lead them into that deeper place in worship. Number 4, strive for excellence. Practice. Don't be lazy. Just practice. It's not that hard. Just carve out half an hour or an hour a day or something. I do it in my car commuting. I listen to all the worship music and I go over everything and keys and stuff. Just practice. And number 5, most important, be yourself. No matter what, God created you to be you, not you to be Elevation, not you to be Hillsong. God created you to be you. And that's all I've got for you today. So those are my 5 things that I think all worship leaders should know. I hope that I was able to encourage and bless you, or encourage and bless a person of your team, just like I know you guys are doing at your churches currently. So thank you guys so much. If you haven't already, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos like this about 2 or 3 times a week. So if you'd like to hear some more encouraging stuff or more leadership and worship stuff, it's all coming. And it's coming soon, okay? So I'll see you guys all really soon, and God bless. Let's hit that stage.